Next up, the candidate for SGA Treasurer will share his thoughts with us, so please join me in welcoming Richmond Gunner.
Well, it's so good to be here this evening. I really appreciate the opportunity to swing by and say, hey, I am fortunate to be running unopposed, so I figured I wouldn't debate myself in this and just share a couple of ideas that I look forward to taking into next year and implementing. Just really honored to have this opportunity to serve Auburn, and I look forward to it. You know, this week for me it's been very laid back, and I've gotten done to do other things that I've never experienced before. One story comes to mind right off the bat. We went by Diamond Dolls on Thursday night, and went by to see them. And I was like, you know, I got to speak to them. I said, in the course of me giving this platform or giving this speech, I'm going to try and use as many baseball-related cliches as I possibly can. And if I swing and miss while doing it, so great. So we just have had a good time all week. But more importantly, and some of y'all got that joke a little bit late. I thought we were late laughter there. More important than that, this week's been about promoting real ideas and real things that we're going to do to benefit all. So I have in my hand some of the folks in the back of my control scene. I'm holding up a penny right now, and I'm holding up this penny for two reasons. One, I'm told when I have this beard, I look a little bit like Abraham Lincoln. But two, you need to be confident your money will be spent in a way where we track every cent. So we're going to look to do that and to come in here and make sure we do it in a thrifty and accountable way. Now, I'm a big fan of a fellow named Ronald Reagan, who said, I hear some claps up there. Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. So I'm asking you to trust me as I step into this role of leadership, but also verify that I do the things I'm going to tell you. And this week has been kind of like signing a contract between you and I. So really, it starts with a pledge to lead from a foundation of integrity, to serve in a Christ-like manner, and to strive for excellence in all I do. Those are the things I'm going to do each and every day. I'm fortunate enough to hold this position. Now, there are two things in particular in regards to the budget I'm looking forward to doing in the coming year, and those are as follows. First and foremost, a portion of our student activity fees currently goes to pay the salary of involvement advisors. So it's people like our SGA advisor, UPC advisor, Center for Community Service advisor, individuals of that nature. Now, since our money, student money, is being used to pay the salaries of these advisors, I propose to create the Involvement Advisor Performance Review Board. This is made up of students and administrators. They'll be able to solicit feedback, receive complaints, and review the performance of these advisors to ensure we hold them accountable to pursue their jobs with excellence, since we, the students, are the ones who are paying their salaries. And that happens. The second thing that I want to do is currently, Miss Auburn, I saw the Miss Auburn candidates come up here to speak and heard those incredible platforms. Currently, the winner of the Miss Auburn election receives $1,000 to carry out her platform. I propose to double that amount to $2,000 to ensure that Miss Auburn is able to continue to impact this campus and community in a meaningful way. Now, I've really enjoyed the conversations we've been able to have throughout this campaign. It's not been about magnitude, or not been about, hey. It's been more like, hello, how are you doing? Let's have a conversation. And I look forward to continuing those conversations in the coming year, to working with you, because here's the thing, folks. We at Auburn University are so fortunate. We got the greatest student body in the entire country. Our goal is to encourage, engage, and empower us as Auburn students to continue to impact this campus, this community, and the world in the tremendous way that we already do. It's about we, not me, in the coming year. So I just look forward to continuing these conversations in the next year, to serving. But for now, my time is up. I thank you for yours.
Now we'll move to the Vice Presidential Candidate Debate. Olabode David, please make your way to the podiums on stage. Audience, please refrain from cheering during this portion of the debate. We will begin with 2-minute opening remarks. Whenever you're ready, Olabode, we'll begin with you. You have 2 minutes.
Hey guys, I just want to first thank you all for coming out, no matter who you're supporting or if you're here just to try to find out who you should support. I just want to tell y'all why I really want to be your next SGA Vice President. When I first got here, the first opportunity I had to get involved was to be a freshman senator. I knew that's what I wanted to do because that's how I could represent all of the freshman class. I know some of my dorm mates from that college are still here. They know when I had to run away to put a suit on to go represent them. And I'm still having fun now, 3 years later. I could say I started from the bottom, so to speak, as a freshman senator, and now being an interim pro tem. But I'm still excited. I want the fellow senators that I have, that hopefully have a chance to impact next year, to have that same excitement. Because Vanessa Tarpos, who was the vice president of the year when I was a freshman, she said you can make a change if you really want to. Because that's where change happens. It happens in the Senate. I don't want everyone in this audience and everyone in Auburn to get excited like I am. I want them to know that their senators can bring legislation to the floor that can really impact them. My platform really has 3 points, and it's centered on academics. It's about improving AD Wi-Fi, bringing back dead days, and also improving advising. I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is David Wisdom. I'm running for Vice President. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting all these great candidates. One of the things I've learned in my experience as Senator and later as President for the College of Business is to listen to the voice of students. And this is why I chose to have a couch as a symbol for my campaign. When I was growing up, our family couch was the centerpiece of our household. It was a place for my family and I to share with one another about what we wanted to work towards as individuals and as a family. So this week we have talked to students around the couch and had some great conversations with the Auburn family. While I was able to share some of my own platform points, such as expanding the Scantron machines from Louder to across the campus and instituting a syllabus bank, which is something we already did in the College of Business past year, we have also heard some other suggestions from students and are excited to act on those areas of improvement to make Auburn the best place it can be. I'm looking forward to being your next SGA Vice President and continuing to take steps toward a better Auburn. Your ability to lead others is not based on your resume, but what's in your heart. A true Auburn man is someone who sincerely cares about those who are influenced by him, and I will strive to emulate this sacrificial servant leadership as your next Vice President.
As we move into the question portion, please ask that you refrain from clapping. This first question will go to Olabode. You have 1 minute to respond. In your platform, you state that, if elected, you will advocate for the assigning of course credit for the projects and work accomplished by students outside of the classroom. Give an example of an activity that would fall into this category and explain how you would advocate for this idea to be put into action.
Well, first off, as an engineering major, I understand that most people go through co-oping experience or do research. And I understand that it's important that they have the opportunity to gain course credit for the work that they've done. This summer, I was a co-op student, and intern student, I actually interned at ExxonMobil. I had a great opportunity to actually work with databases and actually build an app for them. And I know, I don't have the opportunity to ever take an app development class. And I feel like I definitely earned the opportunity and should have the opportunity to present from the faculty and also the dean of my college to say that I deserve it. I feel like every student should have the opportunity.
Thank you, Olabode. Question 1 for David. You'll have 1 minute to respond. In your platform, you express that you wish to record and broadcast Senate meetings. Please explain why you think this is important and why students should be interested in the happenings of Senate meetings.
One thing that's so important about Senate, it is the place where students' voice can be heard. And a lot of people can't make a Monday night at 7:30, and that's just the way it is. And so being accessible to students is something that we need to be. And maybe, we might think that students don't care, but we don't really give them an opportunity to care. And I think that would give them another opportunity to view what's going on and express their concerns.
Olabode, this question is for you. Having served as a senator for the past 3 years, in your opinion, what is the most important piece of legislation the Senate has passed in your time?
I think one of the most important pieces of legislation that came across was when my infancy as a freshman senator was basically there's no smoking allowed on campus, because it impacted the health of the different students on campus, and it was something that was really new. It hadn't been a controversial piece of legislation that happened in the past, and I think that one, you saw the phase that happened. You saw that it was a 3-year progress, and you were going to see that they were going to eliminate smoking on campus. But I think it was one of a really controversial bill, and it got the students excited to see that they could make an impact.
David, this question is for you. Having served as a senator and on schools council, how do you think that these two branches can most effectively work together to best represent their constituents?
That's a good question, Harrison. I'll tell you what, schools council has been some of the best experience I've had, and it's really underutilized in SGA, and I think if senators and schools councils partner together to really communicate with their students in the halls of their buildings, I think that we can really make an effective march toward listening to students and listening to what they have to say.
This next question will be for both of you to respond. First, we'll start with you, Olave, and then David, you'll have a chance to respond. What portion of the Code of Laws do you feel currently affects the student body the most, and what changes would you like to see made to this section?
I think one of the biggest things the week that we're taking advantage of right now is elections. And this is where you have the opportunity to actually elect your student leaders. And I think this is something needs to be revised personally. I think 2000 was the last opportunity that people had a great chance to actually overhaul the Code of Laws in terms of elections, because I want people to actually be utilizing the funds they have so they can actually represent you, because it's really about the platform, not about the gimmicks and any signs you may see.
All right, I think something that needs to be revised is also elections. And in the past year or so, we've kind of put some Band-Aids on it. We've changed we've randomized ballot positions, although that has not gone through yet, and I'm ballot position too. And I think what we can do is that we need to form a committee this summer and talk about the ways different SEC schools do elections and view what they're successful at, what they're not successful at, and take the best and hold on to the good and kind of revamp our own. So.
Okay. This next question will also be for both of you, and David, we'll start with you first. How will you encourage and empower every senator to consistently gather feedback from their constituents?
I think one thing on the platform that I wrote about is student interaction reports, and having senators, instead of holding office hours, go out and talk with their fellow students, listen to their concerns, explain what Senate does and what can do for them, and come back to me and say, this is what we talked about, these are the steps we need to take, and go ahead and take action on those concerns.
And instead, right now, we have basically a minute to talk about how we've got the chance to reach out to some of the students that we've talked to throughout the week. But taking that a step further, your senators have an hour that they're obligated to spend in their actual college room. So it's important that they actually take advantage of that. I know in engineering we have a table set up, so you can come and see us in the foyer to actually discuss some of the concerns that you may have about a piece of legislation or a bill. So making sure your SGA senators take advantage of that hour instead of spending it in the upstairs in the office is so important.
And finally, this year for the first time, we've asked students to tweet in questions, and so this question will also be asked for both of you, and this came from Twitter. We'll start with you first, Olave. And how do you plan to increase feedback from the student body in regards to legislation?
I think the best way to do that is to keep utilizing our sources. We have an Auburn SGA Twitter, where we can actually say that this is the bills that actually came through, and also using the website. Our Auburn masters have done a great job to try to put our bills and minutes out there. But also maybe have a comment section, maybe say that people can actually respond to those bills. But again, it goes back to your college and your senators to go back and reaching out and utilizing that 1 hour.
I think that we need to have our own Senate Twitter. We have an SGA Twitter, we don't have a Senate one, that's an easy fix. Another thing is the Senate website right now has posted 4 meetings of minutes, and I don't think that's a good job. I think we need to post every single meeting. And we need to go forward and be able to get that out to students in a timely manner.
This concludes the question portion, and we will now move into closing statements. So David, whenever you're ready, you have 2 minutes.
All week long, my opponent has been telling you how much he knows. But I will be the first to say, just like everyone else, I don't know everything. But what I do know is that in order to lead a student body, we must be proactive in communicating with all students. As president of the College of Business, I've been in the halls of classrooms hearing the thoughts and concerns of students. This valuable knowledge not only provides me with the skills necessary to succeed, but also gives me the ability to hit the ground running in listening to student concerns and taking action to address the issues at hand. My campaign is not about telling you what I know to be best for you. My campaign is about coming together, unifying all that is Auburn, and serving and promoting the individual student to be the best Auburn man or woman that they can be. There is nothing more meaningful than a united Auburn family learning from each other to make this place great, as Auburn has been ever since its conception. So tomorrow when you cast your vote, I ask that you walk with wisdom, and together we will take steps necessary to making Auburn the best place it can be.
Thank you, David. Olave, your closing statement.
Well, this week I know a lot of this campaign's been about my student experience or experience in a lot of different areas. But the reason I ran is because I know you know best. And I know the best way to do that is for college universities to continue to reach out for you, because that's what I've had fun doing for 3 years now, and I hopefully have the opportunity to continue to do that at the highest level. And I hope I can empower those senators that will go into your college so they can get your feedback, so they can tell you, and they can know what you know. Because as a student body, we're supposed to represent you. And I hope when you cast your ballot tomorrow, that you cast ballot number position number 1, Olave Miche, because what I don't know makes me stronger, and what you know makes Auburn better.
We will now begin with the presidential candidate portion of the debate. So please, candidates, make the way to the podiums. We will begin with the opening statements from each candidate. Hayden, we will begin with you. You have 2 minutes to direct your remarks.
William, thank you all for coming and for having me here. I feel very blessed with the opportunity to stand up here and share my ideas with you guys. Now, everyone knows that Auburn's student experience is second to none. Well, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hayden Harrelson. I'm a junior in biomedical sciences. I'm loving Auburn so far. So, Auburn's students' experience is second to none. You know, our SGA's main responsibility is to build and foster key relationships between students and administrators in an effort to make this student experience much better. I believe our SGA still leaves advocacy opportunities on the table. I also believe our SGA has lost its voice and its desire to maintain status quo. Status quo may be okay for some, but for me, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to step up to the plate and be the voice of all students with great ideas, questions, and concerns to bring to administrators in an effort to impact students' lives on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the reason I'm running for SGA president is, to make a positive influence here at Auburn and to advocate for students on an individual basis. It's time to seize the moment and basically, I just want to partner with university leaders in an effort to do better dining. I've talked to Dr. Brellican with the provost office, and restructuring our class registration process is something that needs to be done. Also, want to better our parking situation here. If you live off campus, you understand that that's something that also needs to be done. I believe it's time for a new, fresh perspective on SGA, and I know I'm the guy who can stand and deliver on making these changes. I'm looking forward to hearing your ideas. Thanks again.
Thank you, Hayden. Logan, your opening statement.
Well, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. My team and I have had such a great week sharing our platform and our ideas with different areas of campus. It's been such an incredible experience. And going around to different parts of campus has reminded us just what we love about Auburn, and that is the student body. And the student body truly is second to none, and that's a compliment to everyone in this room. So thank you all for making this week great for us. Tonight, I want to reflect to you that our platform and our ideas do reflect a true desire to serve, and they reflect a desire to put you first as an individual student. I ran for SGA president because I believe, like many of you heard me say, that everyone in this room should be empowered to create for themselves the best experience here possible. Auburn is the best school in the country, and we believe that we can make it even greater through input from you. And that's what I'm passionate about. I believe that the SGA president should be a direct link to your administration, and it is. And I believe your SGA president should actually listen to your needs and your concerns. It should come to you. We know we struggle with feedback in SGA. We know that's been a weakness of ours in years past, and so we want to better that. But we want to better it by being the best leaders possible. As I say, we all love Auburn, but only you guys as a group knows what can make it better. So thank you all for coming out tonight again. Looking forward to exchanging ideas, and thank you for a great week.
Thank you, Logan. Now we'll move into questions. The first question was asked of you, Hayden. You'll have 1 minute to respond. Hayden, in your platform, you state that you wish to provide students with opportunities to learn what SGA does and initiatives they are working on implementing. How do you plan to make sure the student body stays informed?
Well, I think SGA should come to students. I think we should meet students where they are, rather than ask for students' feedback on, social media or, on the concourse. I think we should meet students where they are. Come to Terrell Dining Hall. That's, all the freshmen are there. I think we should come to student organizations and say, what can we do for you, and what would you like to see here?
Thank you. Logan, this question is for you. You'll have 1 minute to respond. In your platform, you mentioned increasing campus safety. What do you feel are the strengths of campus safety, and what do you feel are its weaknesses? How would you improve upon those weaknesses? Sorry.
Sure, that's fine. On campus, as many of you know, if you live in the dorm, we have an extremely safe campus. That's just a fact. The areas that we believe need to be improved are some of the perimeter areas of campus, and that's working with the city of Auburn. And obviously, that can be difficult. Not that the city of Auburn is difficult to work with, but anytime you're combining some university ideas with city ideas, that's going to take some collaboration. So maybe adding some blue light poles to those areas, adding ways that you can get in touch with your local police officers. We just believe that the areas, especially around downtown, aren't quite safe enough for students, and we believe that's our priority to advocate and to lobby to the city to improve that area of campus.
Thank you, Logan. Hayden, this question will be for you. In your platform, you mentioned implementing a proration policy for parking permits. Please elaborate on your plan for this and the impact it will have on the current parking situation.
Many students do not need on-campus parking passes for the whole year, such as, that they get a pull-off opportunity or an early exit or something like that. So I believe that instead of having students pay a year's fee for a C or PC parking pass, we should prorate that so the students only can pay for the semester that they need. I believe that benefit parking by opening up parking opportunities and the all semester, so it frees up more passes for the rest of the student body.
Thank you, Hayden. Logan, this question will be for you. In your platform, you discuss replacing the lowest performing current dining venue on campus with another venue based on a student poll. What do you believe is the significance of this, and could you elaborate on the details of this process?
Sure. First of all, the significance of it is it's another way to put power to the people in motion. When we created this slogan and thought of this idea of power to the people, it's that you control what comes to campus and you control the decisions that Auburn makes, and especially Auburn SGA makes. And so this is just another way for you to do that. I believe this process is going to be a tedious one, to be honest. It's going to be one where you have to figure out not necessarily what makes the most money, but adding a lot of factors, because we realize that there are dining venues and smaller buildings on campus that students enjoy that are maybe in that college that don't need to be taken away, that might not bring in the most money. So it will be a tedious process, but I think it's one that students will appreciate when they're given the opportunity to determine what comes on campus. And that, like I said, that power of the people is put in motion truly.
Thank you, Logan. This next question will be for both of you, and we will begin with Hayden. How has your experience as a student leader prepared you to fulfill the role of SGA president and lead SGA in living out its motto, which is to serve and promote the individual student, unifying all those Auburn?
I believe a leader is somebody that can communicate well with others and just has a way with people, and a way that people want to follow the direction that this leader is taking. In my experience as a student, the SGA president is the voice of the student body. You can't be more experienced than just being a member of the student body and reaching out and engaging many different groups of students in an unbiased manner, and being an advocate for what those students want.
Well, my answer is really simple. I came to Auburn and thought I loved it, and then I came to Auburn. So I believe that my experience here has just made me fall in love with the school. And honestly, just to be completely honest with you, I want to serve it, and I believe this is my opportunity to do so. And obviously that has to come with experience. You have to have experience to serve as well as you possibly can. And so I think the things I've done, I'm not going to list a resume, but I think the things I've done have prepared me for a position like this to best serve the university that we all love. I realize we all love Auburn equally, and it's a great school, so just want to serve.
This next question is asked of both of you, and we will begin with Logan. How do you plan to ensure that the voice of the student body is heard and acted upon by Auburn administrators?
Sure. Well, I think this comes down to the shoulders of the SGA president, honestly. I do believe that every Auburn student is empowered here individually to speak with administrators, but I think it's the SGA president's job description, basically. And so the last point on my platform is about feedback and communication from SGA. And one of those points is, I say it in chapter visits and organization visits, is I want to come to you as your SGA president. I want to come with a notebook in my hand and a pen in my hand, and I want to write down your ideas and your thoughts, because I know that I'm one mind. And I know that even if I was SGA president, I would be one-minded. So I think that it comes down to that one person has the sole responsibility to hear their feedback and to take it to Sanford Hall and to other administrative buildings. But I do believe that every student is empowered as well to do so.
Well, to gain student feedback, I feel that myself as SGA president or somebody from SGA should attend organizational meetings, attend this President's Live, wherever the students are, and meet them wherever they are to field and just get student feedback. And then, as president, take that to administrators and voice our opinions, voice our concerns of what students exactly want, and work my hardest to ensure that this is a reality for all students.
Thank you. This next question will be for both of you. We'll begin with Logan. We'll begin with you, Hayden. What do you feel is the biggest issue currently facing Auburn students? And as SGA president, what do you feel your role would be in resolving this issue?
That's a great question, Harrison. The biggest issue facing students, I understand students have larger issues such as tuition and more scholarship opportunities, but as SGA president, there's only so much you can do in regards to that front. The first thing in our SGA model is students. We are all students here, serving and promoting the individual student on a unified goal. So the most important issue facing students is getting the classes they need when they move. We've all felt victim to getting in class and then you get pushed back a semester or two, and I definitely have an issue with that. So I tend to work with the provost office and see what I can do about getting students in the classes they need when they need them. So it also includes the 4-year graduation.
Thank you, Hayden. Logan?
Yeah, my answer is going to be kind of two-pronged. The first is what faces student. What's the biggest issue facing students from an SGA perspective? And I know I've harped on this, but it's something I care about, and that's communication. I think students deserve to be heard. I think the conversations that happen in organizations and chapters around campus deserve to go beyond the walls of that building alone. So that's the first. The second, Hayden just alluded to it, the graduation rate. I think that is a major issue that in a long-term way affects Auburn and needs to be fixed. And I believe part of the question was how do you fix it. And for me, one of my platform points is a freshman advising center, and the university has thought about doing this. But I believe we need a student advocate to fight for that, because the freshman advising center will be a hybrid of an academic and career center, where freshmen that come in without knowing their major can go and try to get some orientation and guidance so they don't change that major a year later. So I believe those are the two issues facing Auburn, and I believe we can fix them next year.
And finally, we have a question that was tweeted to us by students. This will be asked of both of you, and we'll begin with you, Logan. If elected, do you have plans for enhancing the game day experience for all students?
Yeah, so right now I have the opportunity to sit on the game day task force, and it's brand new, but we're currently looking at the game day experience as a whole. That includes seating, that includes entering the game, that includes your concessions, that includes the pregame experience. So I believe that needs to be a top priority. A lot of people say it's just a football game, but at Auburn we all know it's a little bit more, and it's very important to students here, and it's also very important in a perception way to Auburn University. So I do believe that should be a top priority, and I'm grateful to say that I've been able to sit on that committee and get a little bit of experience from that now.
Well, when we talk about game day, the first thing that comes to your mind is football Saturdays. And as you're sitting in the stands, one thing that everybody notices in the media all the time is block seating. As an independent, people may think that you may want to get rid of block seating, but that's not true at all. Fraternity men do wonderful things for Auburn, for our community, and I think they should be commended for that. I also think that other groups do just as much for Auburn, such as sorority women and just campus involvement groups. So I'd like to expand the reserve seating, to hopefully include these other groups of people to give everybody a chance to enjoy football Saturdays as best as they possibly can.
Okay, thank you, Hayden. Let's see here. This concludes the question portion of the debate, and we will now move into closing statements. And Logan, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So as I've said again and again, this is a campaign about you, and that's been in our videos and our materials. We sat down to decide a slogan when we combined the thought process I had when I decided to run with some ideas. How the people just stuck out. It was the idea that you're in control of your experience here because you're a student and you deserve that ownership. So that's why I'm running, and I know I keep repeating that, but I just want you to take that away. And I'm running because I love Auburn, and I have a passion for the school and the Student Government Association, and the university as a whole. So I would really appreciate your support tomorrow. I can't believe it's voting day already. It's been a fast week, but please, a vote for us is really a vote for the student body as a whole. So we appreciate you guys joining our team, and thanks for your support, Mark. Thanks.
Well, thanks again for hearing my ideas. I definitely enjoyed hearing yours. My opponent has made it clear that he has SGA experience. But I want to make something clear to you. As SGA, being an SGA president is something you don't need experience for. You know, my opponent is the same type of candidates that we've elected in years past, and it's time to do something different. It's time to make a change here in Auburn. It's time for a new day for SGA. If you agree with me, I'd love your vote and support for tomorrow. And if elected, I will represent all students, not just a select few. Thanks again, and warrior.
Be sure to cast your vote tomorrow and encourage those around you to do so. There will be 2 polling stations set up on campus, one on the Haley Concourse and one on the Patrick Concourse. And the results of the election will be announced during calls at Cater Ball tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Thank you all for attending the debate tonight. War Eagle.